Hey guys, today I will be doing a review of this, the Presto Ever Sharp blade sharpener. I've used it a bunch to get used to it, and had some pretty good results with it, so I'm pretty happy with this. And just wanted to give you some close-ups here. So you have this kind of a guide setting. And so you can see this moves these mouths here, and this positions the blade so that when it's coming in contact with the stone that's spinning inside, I don't know if you can see this, you can see this one over here too. It's kind of dark. If you can see this, so that you have the correct angle. Now, it has 3 settings. This is number 1, is the coarse setting, and that will give you, a rough grind that's not really sharp, but it prepares it to be used on these here. These will sharpen correctly. Now you only have to use the number 1 setting if you have a really dull blade. Otherwise, these you can just use the 2 and the 3. I use the number 1 on a machete. So I sharpened this with it, and before, this blade it looked like they just used a very rough grindstone on it. And it was fairly unusable, and so I just for fun I tried it just to see how it would do, and it worked pretty good. It's actually got a blade that I wouldn't mind using, so pretty sharp. So, but I think it's more designed for kitchen knives. So I brought a couple of different kitchen knives that I use, just to show you quickly how to sharpen it. So I'm going to use the medium setting for these, and I'm just going to show you quickly how to do it. So turn it on, and I'm not going to be using the rough because it's too rough for these. These don't need it. They're already fairly sharp. So it's kind of loud. So I'm outside right now because my kids are inside sleeping, and so I'm going to do 3 on each. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then I'll do 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And it took me a little while to master. I don't know if I've mastered it, but to get used to how fast and how much pressure. So you put too much pressure down on it, the wheels will stop. And if you go too slow, then it's going to start taking away too much metal in the wrong spot. So you want to, keep it moving. So you can come down. And you want to keep pressure on, just a slight amount of pressure on the orange guard. There's 3 on that side now. Alright, so that's the secondary one. So it's sharp the way it is, but this is the honing side. So now it's very, very sharp. I brought a couple different knives. I'll show you the paring knife. Same idea, it's just different shape. very sharp. Some things I found that it does not do well. I found that it does not do well with Tonto tips. So the problem is the turn doesn't do well with the turn. So like if you come in, you gotta really get the angle on your hand right to get it to go through. And then another part is obviously serrated. It can do serrated, but every time you do it, you're losing some of the serration, and eventually, if you keep doing it, you're going to have no serration left. It'll just be a straight blade. So, and this blade is still not very sharp. It doesn't work well because for the Tonto, this part is sharper here, but this part up here is just not getting done very well. So maybe I have to figure out how to do it better, but here's my everyday carry blade. Did a review on this, the K-Bar Tactical Defender, if you want to check it out. Tactical Folder. And you can do more than 3 on each side, depending on what you need. You know, keep going back and forth until it's got the sharpness that you're looking for. And I would practice on your junky knives before you go to the really nice ones, so you don't end up gouging them. You can get a burr on the edge, just for fun. I have this big sword that is dull like a butter knife. It's Tonto tip, so again I'm going to have that same issue with this end, but let's do the long, back up, do the long blade. Now the instructions say don't test with your finger, because it can get incredibly sharp, but I'm pretty used to knives, so I don't really cut myself. But if you're kind of a noob with knives, you don't really know how to use them very well, I wouldn't test with your finger like I'm doing. I can tell when a knife is sharp by running my thumb across it. So this is not sharp at all. So it would need a lot more work. But I'll do a couple more passes. Getting better. I'll do the honing one now. It's hard with these really long blades. So I'm putting almost no pressure on it, just like almost the weight of gravity. So it's not very sharp. I would need to do a lot more work on this, which I'm not going to do on camera. But this one was very dull to begin with, so that's kind of why it's taking longer. Once you get them sharper, then you can. It only takes a couple of passes to get them back to where they were before. But this is kind of like a toy. Well, not a toy, but it's just it's for show. It's not supposed to be used. So I don't know if you can see this, but there's just steel all over. Okay, I'm just going to finish by sharpening up this one. I use my kitchen knives a lot. Alright, so now I'm going to take you inside. I'll show you how to use a honing blade, and I'll show you some of this. And that's all steel. So I'll take you inside and I'll show you how to finish them off. So this is your honing steel. You've probably seen it before in your knife block. Now some people think this actually sharpens a blade, but it doesn't. What it does is it takes off the burr. So when you sharpen a blade, a little bead of metal rolls up on the edge here, and that needs to come off. So it's really simple to do it. You just take the blade, you put a moderate amount of pressure down on the blade onto this, you pull it towards your hand 3 times, or you can push away too if you're not comfortable pulling towards your hand. 3 times, and now the burr is gone. Now you're pulling down and against the, you move, see that's two movements, it's this way and this way, see. And now these blades are all very sharp. So I'll show you a couple cutting demonstrations. Alright, so here's your onion. I don't have a tomato to cut. I know that's the ultimate demonstrating piece. But the tomatoes, you don't need to use a serrated blade on a tomato, which is amazing. So almost just with gravity, you can see that this blade is easily passing through. Very simple, very easy. Now, I didn't wipe the blades off. You see the little, what you want to do is take a wet towel and just run the blade through it. Again, careful with your fingers, because you don't, especially if you're not good with knives, you can hold it like this, but you can slice yourself open pretty good with these. These are crazy sharp right now. So just very, very sharp. And another thing to consider is the sharper your blade, you know how people cry with onions? When you have a really sharp blade, you won't cry as much. Because the reason why you're crying is because you're breaking open the cell walls that have all these noxious chemicals in them. They make your eyes water. With a really sharp blade, it won't really happen as much. So proper knife technique, you hold your fingers like this, and you can never get cut. So that's that. Very sharp blades. I can show you a paper test. A sheet of paper. So here's a sheet of paper. Slicing right through it, obviously. Very, you know, very happy with this device. So it works really well. Chop it, chop, chop. Now I gotta use onions tonight for dinner. So I highly approve of this knife sharpener for any kind of blade that's like you know, your kitchen knives, or any kind of hunting knife, like, you know, like this. It works. Serrated knives, it does sharpen, but you know, you're going to lose that serration. The more you do it, the more you're going to lose. So to keep that in mind, I did a review on that giant Rambo 4 knife. I would not recommend using it for that. It's just too much metal. I think I'm going to get that professionally sharpened. And so yeah, if you have any questions, please feel free to write them in the comments. It's not very expensive. I think it was like maybe $60. I don't remember. But it's so much better than what I was using. I was using this, which works. It's called Aspect from IKEA, and it's like just a standard you know, double stone. You pull your knife through it. It works, but this thing is 100% better. This got me through. This isn't really cheap. It got me by until I could get something good like this. So I definitely recommend it. And Again, if you have any questions, I'll pop them in the chat and I will respond fairly quickly. All right, so long YouTube, thanks for watching.